You think you've done anything to be ashamed of?
No, I'm not ashamed of it. I didn't want the kids to see it, but I didn't let the kids view my pictures, actually. That's what's wrong with the whole story here. An adult illegally copyrighted my photos and sent them out to the children in the school.
And can I ask you, I asked what the atmosphere was like in the classroom. You say it was supportive.
Yeah.
Well, there must have been some giggles. I mean,
Yeah, of course there was giggles. They were saying it was like Christmas come early.
But what was it like in the...
She thinks she's slick. It was like Christmas come early. This is marketing 101 for OnlyFans creators, bro. Get on a public platform for doing some questionable things and then make bank off it.
You are now listening to Pree Da Production with your host, Majaro.
What is up, my tribal people? Welcome back to another video on the Pree Da Production YouTube channel. I'm your tribal chief, Majaro, aka Midge, and you already know what I'm gonna say. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. He's trying to grow the community, and by sharing this with your friends and family, that goes a long way in helping us do that. Now, let's get into the video. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm sorry, but it's time to talk about Bonnie Blue and the OnlyFans banning controversy. So for those who don't know who Bonnie Blue is, she was originally known as Lily Phillips's best friend, Lily Phillips being the woman who slept with 100 men in 24 hours and then proceeded to cry about it.
I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by the, I think like the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're going to do this. And like, it just, sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like it's not like normal sex at all.
All jokes aside, Lily Phillips set the bar here, and Bonnie Blue saw that, and instead of leaving it where it was and being like, yo, that's the end of that, nah, that was just the beginning, because Bonnie Blue is Lily Phillips on steroids. It went from 100 men to 1,000 men in one 24-hour day. I mean, before this debauchery, she was already doing some outrageous bop activity. She really puts the X in extracurricular worker, because before she was known for the person who would have sex with anyone over the age of 18. So freshers straight out of sixth form and going into university, come to the hotel room. I'll pick you after the club. In fact, there'll be a long line leading from the club to her hotel room round the corner.
Trent University, as I said, a word to pleasure as many uni students in 2 weeks. I want to sleep with 130 barely legal 18-year-olds, and you can go for as many rounds as you want. You can finish wherever you want, and the most I want to take in one night is 25, but I'll let you into a little secret. I did 30 on the first day alone. So come and get me on my knees and let me celebrate you getting into uni, boys.
Hey yo, what the She would go to America and Australia on spring break and be like, come find me here, boys. I'm having all takers. I'm taking it all. That just started a whole wave of OnlyFans creators trying to do the most outrageous stuff possible to go viral. Because that's the currency, clout. That's what gets their name out there. Anyone can put on a camera and have, you know, extracurricular activities and sell it for money. But how much money are you going to get from that? How many people are actually going to see it? If you're really about it and you just want to go head first, you want to fully dive in to that environment and that workplace, you have to make a name for yourself. And what better name to make for yourself than being outrageous, being outlandish, being controversial, and being newsworthy viral? Because that's what she did. She set the blueprint. She set the blueprint. Lily Phillips walked so that Bonnie Blue can fly out of the atmosphere and into the stratosphere. That's what she did. And now every OnlyFans model and their mother wants a piece of that pie.
Today we have set ourselves a challenge. We want to bank 150 McDonald's workers. We are willing to travel
All over the UK, it doesn't matter
As many as it takes.
what age, gender.
So if you do work at McDonald's, then please do let us know. We will have a little form you can fill out and submit to us.
So yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
I'm seeing people trying to do 500 people in 24 hours, 300 people in 24 hours. And for some reason, it looks like they just ain't built like Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. Because the aftermath for these content creators, after trying to engage in those extreme challenges, has been hospitalization, IV drips, straight to the vein, straight to the dome. Like, these women were in rough shape after attempting that, which is crazy. And you just gotta think, what are the guys doing? What kind of degenerates are involved in these type of activities? Haven't they got a life? What? You're telling me you can't get some girl around the way, some girl from your corner to kick it with you, go on a couple of dates, do your thing. You have to travel to meet this supreme bopper and get your rocks off that way, along with 500 or 9,900 other men. Come on now. What are we doing here? The man them needs to fix up, because OnlyFans has created monsters. And that's the thing. You can't even blame them. Can you really blame them? I mean, as soon as you go on social media these days, sex is in front of you. Naked women, half naked women are in front of you. That's what sells. At one point, Twitter tried banning pornography on their platform, but then realized, oh wait, their engagement's not there. We're not getting as much revenue because not as much people are on our platform. Oh, what happened? Oh wait, we removed or didn't allow porn to be uploaded. Now, we allow it, more people are back. More people are engaged, especially men. I'm looking at you, man, them. Especially men are engaged. Now I can't scroll more than 2 swipes, 3, 4 max, before seeing some craziness, whether that's on, especially on Twitter. Instagram ain't that much better. They're just not doing the deal, but they're there. They're not going full blown, but it's like a pipeline. Instagram is like a pipeline to OnlyFans. See a nice looking woman on there. 9 times out of 10, you go on a profile, you see a link tree, or you get more info or exclusive content. You already know what that is. That's what society is pushing. I mean, this is just an evolution from the celebrity sex tape days of Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian, where at first it was shunned and looked down upon, and then until those women claim, or specifically Kim Kardashian, reclaim that and be like, that's not going to define me. I'm going to use this clout to get into a better position. And that's what she did with the help of her family, who already had a lot of money, to be flexible and doing the things in the right way. But the women now are just doing the sex tapes and just making money off the sex tapes. Just surface level. And don't get it twisted. People like Bonnie Blue and the highest OnlyFans creators are earning up to like 1.8 to apparently 18 million in a year. That is wild. That's crazy. So no wonder there's a pipeline for this stuff. There's the demand. The supply is open and willing. They argue it's a lot better than doing the traditional route of being a, porn star, corn star. Yeah, it's just mad. Just mad. Even regular people, everyday people who want to make a little bit of extra change. Teachers, parents, they want to make ends meet, but then they see it doesn't just make ends meet, it really makes the be all and end all for them. Literally, just go into the news and you'll see bare news articles of teachers getting caught up, nudes being displayed all over the playground, kids sending explicit images and pictures and videos to the classmates and all over the the faculty. It's madness. And when you ask this woman, their defense is it's empowering. What's wrong with it? I'm doing it in my own free time. I'm doing it for my own benefit. I'm not harming anyone. I'm not advertising it to people in school. I'm not using the fact that I'm a school teacher. Oh wait, I am. In my content, I dress up like a school teacher, and sometimes I film in school, allegedly. That's what people are doing. They're using their jobs, their place of work to do this content. Like, take, for instance, Linda de Souza Abra, or whatever her name is. The woman who got caught doing a mazzoline with a prisoner. Everything, the works. 5-star rating from the man them at prison. Only to come and find out that she had a history of swinging activities. She was even on I think a Channel 4 documentary talking about swingers. Her and her partner doing up fours and threes, and it's mad. So this stuff is in our face every day. So I'm not surprised everyday people are trying it, and most of them don't make more than 100, 200 max. That's if they've even got some sort of notoriety on the internet. Originally, she wanted to do this thing called a petting zoo. Basically, she's taken her 10,000 men away from the... Not 10,000. She's taken her... I need to get the number right because it matters. The 1,000 men away from the hotel room, away from the apartments that she's been messing up, because they probably clocked on and see who she is, or done the research on the B&B bookers and being like, oh, who's this person? Lily? Bonnie? Nah, no lilies or bunnies over here, B. So Bonnie taking her 1,000 men from the hotel rooms and comfort of people's homes now to a theatre called a petting zoo.
I'm doing Bonnie Blue's petting zoo in June.
What's a petting zoo? Do I want to know?
Yeah, I mean, you can come and watch.
I'm good.
I am going to be tied up in a glass box. The public can come and use me in multiple ways.
Come like David Blaine? What do you mean in a glass box?
I want to be, it's like a zoo. I want people to be able to come and touch me.
In a box?
So it's going to be in a...
Perspex box?
In a house, and then within the house there's going to be a glass box.
And how big's the box? Is this like you?
Like 8 foot.
Have you seen you on Netflix?
Yeah, very much like that.
Oh, it's you in Netflix?
I love you.
Okay, yeah. I need to watch it. Okay, so a big Perspex box.
Yeah, this box is going to be filled with random strangers.
Okay, but why the box? You could just do it in a room. It just adds another element to it.
Because there's going to be some people that just want to stand back and watch. I want it to be like a zoo. I want it to be different. It's like a piece of art.
Okay, and is it free for people to come in?
Yeah, of course it's free.
Where men would assumably line up to take their turn and do her in public. Whatever they wanted, apparently. And she was going to make peas off that, apparently. I don't know who's watching this content. Well, it just speaks to the extreme lengths that extreme lengths that Bonnie Blue is doing to get on the news cycle. Because she's found the code and she's trying to crack it. But OnlyFans cracked down on her. And they were like, huh? You think you're going to do that over here? Nah. We might be flagrant. I might be debaucherous. But not to this level. You're moving mad. And they shut that down. She's cancelled it now. So the bag that she was planning on making, she's gonna have to stuff it. And to me, it feels like she's just been trying to find a level. She's just been trying to find where the line is. And I guess the line is taking it away from the traditional bedroom hotel or Airbnbs to a public theatre, to a public place where people can come in and see what's going on. Nah, we can't be doing that. And it's kind of hypocritical and ironic for OnlyFans to be the one to ban her and put a stop to this, because they've been allowing a lot of this type of stuff, and it seems like they're cracking down on the big fish to stop the little ones. And it's funny because at one point OnlyFans was just supposed to be a place for basically Patreon, a place where people can, away from social media, away from YouTube, a more equitable place to make extra content for your fans, and you can make extra revenue from that with a more beneficial split towards you. But then it disintegrated into just ex-workers. And they tried, you know, after a while, after taking that ex-worker bag, after making millions on these extracurricular workers, they wanted to be like, oh, well, you know, we can't do this no longer. You know, the banks, they tried blaming the banks, saying, you know, our vendors, our banks aren't allowing us to complete these transactions because of the work we do. It's a legal thing, da 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 da. And then when ex-workers kicked up a massive fuss and made a massive deal about it, rightfully so, they backtracked. Actually, no, it's fine. We've, you know, listened to our members, and we've decided that we would continue to allow extracurricular work on our site. Okay, you've been taking money and everything's been fine. You tried switching up on them, been called out, and be like, actually, no, my bad. Yeah. OnlyFans are not this hero. They're just protecting their own interests. Let's look at a teacher in the UK who recently got exposed for having an OnlyFans account. And let's see how she tries to argue her way and argue a point why she didn't see anything wrong with it.
Here's one for you to think about. Former physics teacher has been banned from the classroom after her students found racy pictures of her posted online. There they were, looking at them on their phones, just hours really after she'd posted them.
Yeah, Kirsty Buchan described herself as a good teacher gone bad, alongside topless and lingerie pictures on the subscription site OnlyFans. Well, she resigned from her job, but this week she was struck off the teaching register in Scotland. And Kirsty joins us now.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. This happened back at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
So, firstly, you'd been teaching for how many years?
Almost 10 years.
Okay.
Jeez.
And why did you set up an OnlyFans site in November 2022?
It's such a long story. My son hadn't been well and he was seeing a specialist at the hospital, and I'm a single mum, had no help to watch him. My only other help was my nana, who was going through cancer radiation therapy, and I needed time off and they were going to dock my wages. So it's not as if it was the only job I could have done, but it was the only job that would get me enough money to pay my mortgage, Christmas and my broken car.
How much were you making a month from it?
The most I got was almost 60,000.
And how much were you being
For a
paid?
month?
For a month?
Yeah, for a month, yeah.
And how much were you being paid as a teacher for a month?
About the same.
Okay.
Well, way less for
lot
the year,
less.
sorry. The year, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Not the
okay,
month.
you were
Jeez.
earning in a month
What I got
on
in a year as a teacher.
OnlyFans what you would get annually
Yes.
as a teacher. I suppose the issue then was that you opened up an OnlyFans subscription site.
Yeah.
Did you not think to yourself, the pupils are going to see these pictures?
I did, but we all need to take responsibility. Of course, I knew the risks involved, but I'm a mum at the end of the day. My son comes first, paying my bills comes first. Of course, I knew there was a risk. I spoke to my son about it before doing it.
How old is your son?
He's 14 now,
Okay.
going on 30. So I knew there was going to be risk involved, but I'd used a different name. I've got my moniker, Jessica Jackrabbit. I put a wig on, loads of makeup that didn't look like me. I didn't think I was going to get caught. Saying, you know, good teacher gone really bad. A lot of people pretend to be teachers on the site.
Right.
So I didn't think I would be caught. I didn't think I would be famous.
Well, be brutally honest.
Yeah.
When you went into the classroom a few days later and it was obvious that the kids had seen you and they had been sharing the pictures and
Yes.
everybody had seen them, right? And they're very racy. What was the reaction? How did they react to you?
All support. I've had messages even this morning from all my old colleagues, and all the school kids still support me.
They
to this
didn't make
day.
rude jokes or comments?
No, not to
or-
my face. Absolutely not. I worked hard to get respect.
Of course not to your face, but you've worked hard for that respect. But they're not going to respect you after this. Let's be honest. You're gonna lose respect. It is what it is.
The General Teaching Council for Scotland has just this week found that you failed to conceal your identity and profession. Your behaviour lacked integrity. The solicitor and presenting officer for the council said you'd used your profession as a selling tool. You appeared to justify your actions, and that the school involved was now synonymous with having an OnlyFans teacher. There had been a significant blurring between your private and professional life. You'd shown zero insight into your conduct and failed to act as a role model. And many parents, I can imagine, watching, might think the same thing.
Well, many parents might also think it's good to encourage people to be themselves and not care what everyone else thinks. I think a role model is someone that shows someone to teaches someone to be themselves and not care what everyone else thinks. And that's one thing I did teach the children.
I understand that, but I wonder whether you have a different responsibility as a teacher.
Yeah, of course I do. But at the same time, you're talking about integrity. That's open to interpretation.
Do you think you've done anything to be ashamed of?
No, I'm not ashamed of it. I didn't want the kids to see it, but I didn't let the kids view my pictures, actually. That's what's wrong with the whole story here. An adult illegally copyrighted my photos and sent them out to the children in the school.
Do you think there is anything shameful about a woman or a man posing for pictures like that?
It just always seems to be worse when it's a woman.
No, I'm not saying there is, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It doesn't mean anything, it's nothing about your morals.
And can I ask you, I asked what the atmosphere was like in the classroom. You say it was supportive.
Yeah.
Well, there must have been some giggles. I mean,
yeah, of course there was giggles. They were saying it was like Christmas come early.
But what was it like in the...
She thinks she's slick. It was like Christmas come early. She thinks she's slick. Oh my gosh. Nah, she's at the same time boosting her ego. Hey, this is marketing 101 for OnlyFans creators, bro. Get on a public platform for doing some questionable things and then make bank off it.
Okay.
But you don't want them to see you like you don't want them to see you that way.
What was it like in the staff room? What was the atmosphere like in the staff room?
Oh well, some of the staff obviously weren't too pleased because it did have a name for the school. It's not about the school. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a mother in Glasgow. It just so happened that I worked in Bannerman High School.
Did you get any support in the staff room?
Yeah, of course I did. Had supportive messages this morning.
What did the head teacher think?
Wasn't best pleased, but she said to deal with obviously the spill out from it all.
They're worried about girls being encouraged to share racy images with boys at school. And then you have a situation where a teacher is putting all of this online and saying it's role model behaviour.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether parents and teachers would be able to kind of accept
Yeah, no, of course, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but at the same time, I've not shamed away from it. I've took responsibility, and what I've taught is your pictures can go out there. I'm not saying do this. I worked really hard to be a teacher. I went to university and had 2 jobs whilst being a single mother. I had to do this for extra money, and it was a good way to make money, so...
Do you think you'll be able to go back into teaching at some stage? You wouldn't?
Yeah, I barely slept, worked really hard for not enough money.
I suppose the thing is, if you're earning 60 grand a month on OnlyFans, why would you do anything else?
Yeah, it's a good point.
And there we have it. Why would you not stick to OnlyFans? Why would you have sleepless nights marking and planning lessons when you could just shake nyash on OnlyFans and get that bread? Hey, today we've covered the heights of the game and we've covered the entry level, where people, if you get your name out there, you can make bread. Hey, let me know what you think, because she made some great contextual points that she was trying to make money because she had to take time off, and the only thing she thought of getting money quick and fixing up a car and paying the rent and paying her bills was to get OnlyFans. And now she's making 60k a month potentially. Honestly, let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I be kidding on my foes, even though I got it all on my own. Success sweet, yeah, it tastes like honeycomb. Dropping blood, tears, and even breaking bones. I'm sipping on Patron, while aiming for the throne. I've been to hell and back and even calling